And you are listening to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode 202. I'm here tonight with Jared Schneiderman.
Hey, guys.
We got Phil Dassing.
What's up?
Alexis Schlegel.
What's up, everybody?
And the return of Nick Calcaterra.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming out tonight, guys. Yeah, there's just like so much to talk about. So there's like the state of emergency that Trump declared to put up the wall or finish the wall, as he says, even though it hasn't been started, but he's saying finish the wall, correct?
Yeah, they got a couple more trips to Home Depot, and it's gonna be they're gonna build this wall.
Yeah, there's like I think everybody's noticing. I think now just as much as ever, how polarizing things are. So you've got you've got the liberals in your news feed that are just like totally butthurt about all the executive orders. Now, I'm right there with them. I'm butthurt about the executive orders, especially as a libertarian. We should be butthurt about any executive orders. Any flexing of power from the executive branch. Doing things unconstitutionally. But then it's like the conservatives all of a sudden now they don't give a shit about that.
Right. Mm-hmm. They were all up in arms when Obama was doing it. But now it's whatever.
Yeah, I saw somewhere that Obama had declared national emergency like over 10 times or something like that.
Yeah,
actually,
rundown
dude,
of
Phil,
all the presidents since Carter.
Dude, look up like executive orders, and we'll just come back to it.
It's gonna be a long list.
Or state of
emergency. We're talking about state of emergency.
Yeah, state of emergency.
Okay, well, state of emergency. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but executive orders. I think the last time I looked, it was Obama declared like. I think it was like over. I think it was over 2,000. I believe for executive orders.
I mean, but there's a different. Okay,
and the state of emergency. That's a different thing. How many of those did he declare?
I mean, it's every single president has had at least one since 1976. There's been. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's up to like 40 or 60. Ethan was going on about it because I posted about it, how stupid it was, and this isn't a state of emergency, and he was kind of rebutting me. And you know how Ethan likes to have his numbers right, especially about Trump. But yes, I was kind of. Like everyone's like, oh, state of emergency. George Bush did it after 9/11. I'm like, well, even though he did 9/11, it's like that's an emergency. You know what I mean? Like people are dying.
I would like to see other examples of egregious states of emergency.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
Which I think this is. I mean, I guess I would say any of them are, but like this seems especially egregious.
It really does, and then especially like his speech about it. Did you guys see any of his speech?
It seems especially egregious, but I mean, I don't know if I can name another state of emergency.
I mean, there's one.
It's
well, like so if there's a hurricane or like
I got the numbers.
Yeah, okay. Like, I got the docs.
I got the docs
Gotcha.
too. Okay, so Carter.
Juicy.
So apparently, it says that Carter had 2, Reagan had 6, Bush had 4, Clinton had 17, George W. Bush had 12, Obama had 13, and Trump has now had 3. So it's about 58 national emergencies.
But yeah, I mean, I also agree. Like, raw numbers aren't going to do much unless I see like what's the reason behind them. Like, I think if we're going to start picking at the lowest hanging fruit of like what's the worst things that Trump's been doing, let's look at like the more egregious executive orders.
So isn't the wall the worst of Trump, or what is the worst of Trump? Was bump stocks? Was that the worst of Trump? I don't know.
Bombing in Syria.
Yeah. I mean, there's the worst of the states of emergency. Let's stick to that. I think there's a smaller number.
Yeah, I don't know. See, because I really don't like the wall. That might be my my least favorite part of Trump.
I think the real problem here is like you were talking about. People becoming more polarized and people going tit for tat. I think it was Nancy Pelosi came out this week saying, if there's a Democrat president next time around, we're going to use this as a reason to ban guns.
Yeah, and I love that she said that because that's the shit that I'm thinking about.
Is that what she said, or did she insinuate that?
No, I think it was.
She was a straight up like she said further.
I'll look up the docs.
Yeah, get the docs in.
But here's the thing, though. If she were to do something like that, let's say, or someone like her, and then someone sued. Right, it would likely go all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Of course.
Yeah.
In which case, I think we'd probably be okay, considering that.
But
we have conservatives, or at least
But it just sets a
conservatives
precedent
in that regard.
And that was my big thing. And I made a post. I was like, well, say goodbye to your guns. And But it's like you showed the blueprint. Yeah. You gave it to the progressives. Like, this is how it can be done for things you want to get done.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. It's like, you want to make sure that even though this is a bullshit system, the president can do whatever the fuck he wants. But let's not make it easier for the other side to strip away liberties. Like, you're stripping away people's property rights at the border at the same time, which is still just as bad, but you're also taking away guns from the individuals, which to me is even worse.
Yeah. She said in quotes, "You want to talk about national emergency? Let's talk about today, the 1-year anniversary of another manifestation of the epidemic of gun violence in America." Pelosi said Thursday, "That's a national emergency." So basically, she's saying once a Democrat's president, that they could use, a state of emergency to enact gun control. Or
I think she finished those last 2 lines on that quote. I think that's what really.
That's a national emergency. Why don't you declare that an emergency, Mr. President? I wish you would, but a Democratic president can do that. That's what she quoted as saying.
So that was a straight threat. That's what that was.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just fucking bullshit politics back and forth just to energize their pathetic base for this what year are we going into? 2020,
It's Alex, do you think this means that there's going to be a civil war?
No. No.
Are you sure, Alexis?
Not yet. Not yet.
Whose side would you be on?
I don't know, man.
I think it's not civil war if you got like 5 sides, right?
Well, actually, that probably doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of just sit back and grab the popcorn and just watch it all unravel.
So where do you prep at? Like where do you have the the 18-wheelers at? Underneath the hills and shit.
Yeah, I'll be deep in my I'll be in the bunker, the underground bunker, hiding out.
All right, so Big Eth is commenting on the podcast right now, and he
instead of coming on,
instead of showing his ass up.
Oh no!
Big Eth is like pussing out and just commenting instead of coming on. What the fuck, Big Eth?
But anyways, he says
this is gonna fall back on me.
Oh jeez.
No ways, dude.
He says if Democrats thought that they could ban guns by declaring a national emergency, they would have done so a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just an empty threat.
No, I don't think so. I disagree.
You just think they never thought of it?
I don't think it's they never thought about it. I just thought that they are under the impression that that would be we can.
So that's like a precedent.
Yeah, it's like we can't just do that for something we want. We have to make it more craftier. We have to weasel our way into it. Now they're like, oh well, Donald did it, and the Republicans are under his fan base are all okay with it. So guess we can do the same thing too. Now he cleared the way. That's what every president. Since I've been alive, it's always the past president sets the precedent.
They're one-uppers. They one up
exactly.
Everything. They one up everything.
So I think this is kind of like, okay, cool. You just showed me the way. Cool. You can do that for your stupid wall. We're gonna do this for your guns.
I think part of it.
Go ahead, Nick.
I think part of it, like being kind of one-upping things. It's I agree with Ethan here, where I don't think there's gonna be a heavy-handed single event where we ban all guns or whatever. Again, you would go up to the Supreme Court, and that's
dude. I think if you agree with Ethan, you guys should just make out.
I mean, I moved to Berkeley.
I'm just fucking around.
I thought I was the only gay guy on here.
No.
What?
Well, they have science. They have science articles saying that no one's actually straight. So we're all a little bit there.
Just a little bit gay.
Yeah.
Shit.
Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make here.
Someone told you, Matt.
Yeah. The point I'm trying to make here is that even if there is some big movement that goes to a constitutional challenge, they're still gonna be able to get away with small things. So bump stocks, magazine sizes, even I think a lot of people have now been suggesting not so much targeting guns, but targeting ammunition. And I mean, I think that's also not feasible. But it's these small little things that I think you could easily get away with calling for a state of emergency and take away, and then that becomes the new normal, and we forget about it.
Need a couple more false flag, school shootings or mass shootings. We need to, we're still, but
just don't worry, they'll come.
The one upping and setting the precedents, like you said, they're going to take advantage. They're political opportunists. And any opportunity they're going to and Trump is just setting the state. Well, by using the state of emergency, he's giving So,
but I think it's connecting also what part and which guns to the actual massacre tragedy that you're kind of foreseeing. I think that's how it's going to happen. So
it's the scary black ones.
Yeah, but I think even smaller. The movie theater shooting in Colorado. We had the barrel feed system, right? I think that's an easy thing you could start and just press your button on it, and then have a national ban on those types of magazines. I think that's how it's going to start. The next time you see a massacre with a very specific thing, the media wants to point out that might not have any real, efficacy at the end, like a pistol grip. They latch onto it, and that's how they get.
Oh, they've already been doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, even before bump stocks.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Gums are probably the most heavily regulated product.
Whoa, no way. No
Besides
way.
birth control.
Yeah.
No.
And a woman's vagina. A woman's vagina. Okay, dude. The feminists have told me,
Sorry.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm mistaken.
Triggered me, man.
1,000 lashings for me.
Yeah, Jared, you were going to have to spank you, bro.
Whoa.
You need to
Get out that PRL paddle.
I wasn't told
the
about
podcast paddle.
Podcast paddle.
Wait, you guys know about that?
Yeah, dude.
But
Why'd it come back?
The state of emergency.
More
When's
than
when's the second shutdown supposed to commence? Right?
No. This settled that. This,
no shutdown, bro.
Yeah, because what's getting swept under the rug is he signed what? What was it? I don't know the total amount it was for. But he signed it, and it's just another egregious amount of money and it's just like a dog and pony show, like whatever the fuck.
I was looking
It's
forward to
just-
second shutdown.
No,
They're actually increasing funding for the TSA.
Jesus Christ.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Get hire
But he
more
gets
pedophiles.
$1.3 billion for border structures, whatever euphemism they're using for it,
Fuck them.
and then paying the rest through the state of emergency.
God, I hope that fucking place
Yeah.
burns to the ground.
The what's that?
I don't know. If TSA was in one spot, I hope it'd burn all to the ground.
The TSA headquarters.
Yeah.
Bastards. Oh shit! I don't know what I was gonna say, but
My bad.
well, no, it was a good quote. Vibes. What he was saying, now, the state of emergency, the wall, that's a contentious issue, and then you have this Green New Deal, and it's this constant division between the quote left and right. Meanwhile, look, there's Trump just giving money away to the TSA. The police state is still growing. The wars are still continuing. Even though the rhetoric has changed, it's still continuing. You see what's going on, like covert operations going on in Venezuela. We're preparing for probably regime. Well, we're already doing, conducting basically a regime change there.
Sure.
So, but in the meanwhile, we're all distracted with, the wall and this Green New Deal and focusing on, these just focusing on this trivial shit when there's major issues that are taking place that are just being glossed over by the mainstream media, and just in the media in general, because then you have social.
I'm not sure I would call the Green New Deal trivial.
Well, I wouldn't say.
I mean, just the fact that this
No,
stuff
it's
is
not
getting
trivial.
Presented,
Yeah.
and not everybody is just laughing it out of.
The fact that it gets media attention.
Yeah, the fact that it's getting legitimate articles written in favor of it in legitimate publications is very frightening.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're focusing on that from both sides,
Yeah.
and then they're focusing on the wall from both sides, and it's all just pipe dreams. They're fucking ridiculous. They're not going to happen.
They're not going to happen,
fucking happen. Yet here's all the mainstream media's attention is just focused on it, and it's ridiculous because it's never going to. None of this is going to come to. Well, let's not say it will never come to fruition, but the fact that there's things that are continuing, government's still growing. We're still $22 trillion in debt.
Yep.
Yeah.
What the fuck? There's nothing. None of these issues are being discussed. Where it's this state of emergency. It's just
when was the
another,
last time you heard anybody discuss the Federal Reserve that wasn't a libertarian?
Right.
Oh, a couple months ago, right? Trump got pissed off the old chairman. He
Yeah,
thought about
like,
replacing him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, due to the increasing the interest rates.
Yeah, that's true. Good call.
But the problem there is that Trump cares about it in the sense that he
And
wants to
politici-
control it,
Yeah,
not so much
politicizing
about
it.
getting rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, people are talking about it.
Yeah, that's good. Good point.
So-
Go ahead.
Oh no, that's it, man. Go ahead.
That's all you
Moving
got, bro?
on, number 2. That's all I got.
I will say I am happy to know about the Green New Deal shit. I am happy to know Pelosi and a lot of these other high-ranking Democrats find it completely infeasible.
Yeah.
A lot of the really elitist journalists you see in Bloomberg and New York Times, I think they've been pretty critical of it. So even though these things can happen, I feel pretty comfortable knowing it won't happen anytime soon.
Right. I mean, that's sort of where centrism comes to save us a little bit.
Yeah.
Or it won't be to the it won't be to the point that it that's taking it the full 100 yards, but maybe
Yeah.
a woed down version.
Well, that's the other thing. It could be one of those things where you ask for the world, but then you take. I forget what the fucking phrase is, but
Give a mouse a cookie. I don't know. Fuck.
Well,
Give an inch, take a mile. I don't know.
yeah, basically you ask for a lot, not expecting to get it, but then it's well, okay, fine, but what about these little things? And then
big
Give
thing
them
is-
an inch, they think they're the ruler.
Have you looked into, and it's all
It's kind
I
of
think,
the inverse of what I'm talking about, but yeah.
I think like part of the Green New Deal is tied into that like UN agenda like 2030, which is
boy.
all part of like Agenda 21.
boy.
It's like Agenda 21
boy.
like 2.0. No, this is getting deep.
2120.
Dinosaur bones, motherfucker.
No, this is like getting deep in the docks, but it's just like it's all it's
Balls deep up in the documents.
it's all
deep in the
part. It's all
docks.
part of it. Like it's all just basically. We don't have to get into all that, but part of the Green New Deal is part of this UN mandate by 2030 for like green energy, sustainability, like a basic standard of living. Basically cutting fossil fuels, like vaccinations for all, like not vaccinate, but standard
Whoa.
medical care. So part of this Green New Deal is part of that. And then UN just puts all this fluffy language, but at the end of the day, it's just eroding individual liberty.
Yeah.
The big thing, and that's part of the Green New Deal, is the the basic income or
UBI.
Yeah, and
UBI
that's also
die.
in the UN 2030, like in their fluffy language, like everybody should be. So this stuff is, we're kind of just like, it's fucking unfeasible, but central planners are trying to establish this, and they might not take it to the extent, but they'll take it as far as they can. Everybody's standard to high quality education. That's part of the UN Agenda 2030, where basically that's just advancing Common Core and dumbing down, continually dumbing down public schools and government education and turning them in, basically making the indoctrination camps even more indoctrinating and just destroying individual.
More uniform.
Exactly. Yeah, and this isn't just in the United States. This is
Worldwide.
Yeah, exactly. So these ideas they're just not just like, hey, Green New Deal. It's like you said, Jared, they're going to take it as far as we allow it, or as long as it's feasible.
Sure, yeah.
They won't obviously it's crazy.
Yeah, well, the idea of okay, we're gonna make airlines what was the word?
They said obsolete.
Obsolete. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that's interesting.
It's
just so ridiculous.
yeah.
But
Just out
I
of
mean,
touch.
I can't. They must be. I just can't imagine that they legitimately believe that.
But so
That's even
signed
possible.
on to it.
Or the high speed rail, because it's
Yeah, what are you gonna have a high speed rail running from every major
That's what they said.
airport?
That's what
But
they
just in
literally said.
California,
Every
they
single
just
city.
ended-
Dude, they just
Yeah, that's this guy Gavin Newsom, the new governor of California, just shut down their high-speed rail project finally. But it's actually they're in a bit
He's
of
not new. He's been there for a while.
Gavin Newsom? No, he's brand new. He just got elected.
Well, he got reelected, maybe, or was
So
he?
no, Jerry Brown was the last
Yeah,
governor.
Jerry Brown,
Of
that's what I
California.
thought.
And so this was his was Jerry Brown's pet project, and then
Was Gavin Newsom the mayor of LA or
he
something?
was. Yeah, he was.
Okay.
I think he was maybe he was mayor of LA.
Yeah.
he's definitely been in the political process
Okay.
for a long time, but
Yeah.
he's just now the governor.
Shit.
He's the new governor.
Oh fuck.
That's pretty much what he is. But he's a centrist Democrat, but he did kill their high-speed rail project.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing that's kind of screwing them is that they have to pay back the federal government $3.5 billion if they don't finish it.
Yeah.
But I think someone suggested that if you read the language, you can technically just connect the rail and not actually use it, or have to build any trains.
Connect it
So
with silly string or
I was
something.
saying run a little string, put a straw in it, and blow it down.
yeah.
So I'm saying, hey,
Yeah.
hire me as a consultant. $1 million, I'll let you cash pack the rest.
Yeah.
But I do think high-speed rail sort of projects like Hyperloop and other things that are taken on a private endeavor, I think those do have a place in society.
Sure, but to say that you're going to force them,
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
and that it's going to somehow make all air travel obsolete, and if you don't, then it's a failure. It's just not realistic.
No, I 100% agree.
But
I think kind of more talking to Alex's point about how this kind of reflects a lot of the same ideals and the UN's sort of directives. I think even though this isn't going to be a successful sort of plan or proposal, it is trying to make things the new normal. It's trying to ease people into the idea. It's tricking people who aren't super educated.
Go back to what we were talking before about the state of emergency.
Yeah, it's the same
They're going to
idea.
come in and say, well, the planet is melting and everyone's going to die in 10 years. That's a state of emergency.
Yeah.
We're implementing the new Green Deal. Damn it.
Yep.
I did it again. It's a Green New Deal. Motherfucker.
It's easy to use.
You guys,
We should probably take this all out in post so we don't, people don't.
Yeah, last week I kept calling it. I kept calling it Green New Deal, or I don't. Whatever. Move on.
all right.
I'm stupid.
All right, I think this next topic hits home for you, Matt.
Yeah, it
Bergman.
definitely hits home.
Okay, so Ryan Adams had his Me Too moment this week, right?
Yeah.
And so, am I the only person here that knows about this
Yes.
at all?
I had no clue.
I've
Yeah.
heard. I'm aware of it. I don't know all the gory details.
Well, Matt's
Okay.
wife is like a diehard Ryan Adams fan, so
Yeah,
that's probably
like a
why.
huge fan. Like she has like
all the
and-
posters.
she has like an ungodly amount of Ryan Adams records. Okay.
Yeah.
So so huge fan, and she's actually pretty pissed off.
So what happened?
Now she's not ready to sell the record collection yet.
Okay.
And I think if she finds one that she doesn't have for a good deal, she might spring for that, because it's like, now when you think about it, Ryan Adams records are probably going to be like really fucking cheap, like after this,
sure.
because a lot of people are pissed off. But
Short the Ryan Adams market.
so it's okay. Well, there's the Ryan Adams thing. Okay, so then it's like, and she says that I shouldn't even talk about it because I'm just going to downplay it.
Okay, so what happened?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay, so
Too late, dude. You're already talking about it.
okay, so Ryan Adams, Me Too. It's not like he pulled a Bill Cosby.
Or even a Louis C.K. really. Dude.
Oh shit! What'd he do?
No, okay, so the worst thing that he did, right, by my estimates, is that he was talking to an underage girl, and apparently he sent her a dick pic.
Mm.
But-
How underage?
But, okay, I
Wow,
believe
Phil.
I believe the girl was like 14 or 16,
Okay, yeah.
but she by
14
her
or 16.
but by her own admission, she had told him that she was legal.
Mm.
By her own admission, she lied.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, I mean, it's like, is it dumb? Should it not happen? Is it messed up? Yeah, but if the other person on the other end of the phone is lying, it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see anybody go to
How old
prison
is Ryan
over it.
Adams? How old is he?
44. I just looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a celebrity. You're 44. Stop hitting on anyone who's saying they're under the age of like 25.
Why would you become a celebrity then?
No, well,
I'm just wondering.
I'm just saying, like,
Well,
there's
but-
a lot of burden falls
But
on
why
this
do you need to
guy.
be like going? Why do you need to be talking to like anonymous chicks on the internet?
Yeah,
like
what the
why aren't
fuck?
you
That's
just going
true.
anywhere and just picking up chicks?
yes, but this is
Yeah.
not like
Unless you're actually looking for underage chicks.
I don't know.
No,
If someone
you know
went
what
to
I
a
mean?
bar and said they were Ryan Adams, I'm not sure I'd be super interested.
What's that?
If I went to a bar and like told people I was Ryan Adams, I don't think they'd be super interested. Like, how attractive looking is he? That's what I want to know.
Weird looking.
I don't, what do you think, Alex? You're into
You
that
bang
sort of
wouldn't you,
thing.
Alex?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't know any of his songs or
Me
any
neither.
of
I
his
have no
music.
clue who this guy is.
I know.
I've
I've
heard the
of
name,
him. The
but
only reason I'm aware of him
He's got
is
some
just
good
like,
songs.
So if he's
'cause,
ugly,
like your wife's super into
I was
him. That's
literally.
it.
maybe that's why he has to use these anonymous internet women.
I don't think he's
No,
that bad looking from what I've seen.
Oh, really, Liberace?
All right. Well, all right. Everyone, get out their phones.
Everyone
and
get out
take
your
pictures
phone.
of Ryan Adams and see
Yeah.
who'd
Can we
bang him
Can
and
we do
who
this
wouldn't.
like a rate, like a 1 out of 10 style?
I mean,
Can we take an aggregate score?
Okay, so Ryan Adams. So I'll give you some background on him. He's probably the most prolific songwriter of recent times that I can think of, because I can't name anybody who's just put out like more original music, and he's just always putting shit out. He'll even do shit like one year he'll say like, oh, I'm going to put out a 7-inch every month of new songs,
Yeah.
And then this year, I believe he was slated for 3 albums to come out this year.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
It's a lot of material.
For
And
a
it's good- and
solo
it's good
artist in
stuff.
6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I've always thought Ryan Adams was he's okay. He's highly okay at times. And
Highly okay.
yeah. So no, I mean,
Nice.
he's highly okay.
yeah, I mean, he's like not like totally knock my socks off, but I mean, I feel like he's decent.
Yeah.
He's like he's got some cool influences.
Don't ever
But-
call me gay again. All right.
What are you talking
what's
about?
gay
dude?
about-
What's wrong with
You're
that?
like over
Yeah.
here like sucking his dick, man.
What you're acting like there's something wrong with being gay, dude. Why don't you settle down? Okay, so
I agree.
No, but okay, so
Got me.
So
Settle down,
okay,
bro.
all right. So with Ryan Adams, like, so that would be the worst thing that he did, and he did it to somebody who told him that they were legal, right? So that person who came out about this admittingly lied about her age. So, like I said, that would be the worst thing. Then, in my opinion, and I think by most people's estimates, that's the worst thing. Now, the other things that he did that were shitty, allegedly, this thing's kind of funny because apparently he told Mandy Moore that if you don't play an instrument, you don't write your own songs, and you use autotune, you're not an actual musician.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
What's wrong with that?
I know. I thought as a musician, I thought that was just totally hilarious.
Yeah.
You know.
Funny and true.
Yeah, exactly. So, she's coming out and saying that, and it's
What?
like and by my estimate,
Because that's abusive.
Okay. By my estimate,
Toxic masculinity,
okay,
man.
okay. So I know a little bit more about Ryan Adams than most people because my wife has always been a super fan. So I know that the guy's had a bunch of problems with drugs. Apparently, he's come out and said that he doesn't even remember his wedding, because he was so high on whatever, So it's like,
who does, man?
Like when he's high on whatever. I mean, couldn't he just have said that in jest, joking around, laughing afterwards? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, so many people are drunk during their wedding, or they drink because they're nervous before the ceremony, or something. He could just be joking around like that.
Okay, and then also according
That's a bad thing.
Also,
you're talking about?
also according to Mandy Moore, she claims that he held her back and was kind of trying to manage her career, and then wouldn't let her do anything. It was
that bullshit argument. I hate that argument.
No, well, I'm saying
he was holding me back. Was he physically holding you back?
Well, I mean,
physically.
Okay. Multiple women have came out and said that he was very controlling, and he would message them and say "Where are you? Take a picture so I know you're actually there."
That's fucked up.
Okay.
It's super controlling.
So he's just a really
it's-
jealous boyfriend.
Yeah, it's fucked up. That's
yeah.
fucked up. But
okay. Yeah,
whatever.
it sounds like you might be coming to the conclusion that I'm too. And now, granted, more news could come out, so I don't know what I'm gonna. But as of what I heard, what I've heard right now,
Is it true that he was saying if you fuck me, I'll get you ahead in the game? Was that a thing that was happening? I thought I heard that.
I believe there's also other musicians that he'd gotten with, and he made promises like that.
Okay.
Like going after them, and then if they turned him down,
that's basically what Louis C.K. was doing, except Ryan Adams wasn't jacking off into plants and shit.
No, it seemed like Ryan Adams was worse about that than what Louis C.K. did. Because Louis C.K. from my understanding, he never said, "I'll move you up in the game."
No.
Yeah, so it's what Ryan Adams is doing is worse in that aspect. If you ask me, what Ryan Adams did. But it just seems to me that it's like he didn't rape anybody. So. And he wasn't physically abusive with anybody, so it just seems to me it's like he's just a dick.
Yeah, he's just kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's just a dickhead,
Exactly.
I mean, so I would say a little creepy too.
Guilty of that.
Who's not guilty of that?
There's a lot of douches out there.
Well, I don't think any of us are that much of a dick.
No, I would never be like that with my wife or any girlfriends I've been with.
Yeah.
But what this isn't. You held me back.
You treat the boys differently, Phil?
I don't even know what to say to that. But anyway, no, it's just that whole argument. He held me back. He was controlling. If he was controlling, then you leave. And I'm sorry, people, you don't know what it's like.
Well, they did leave, dude.
So there you go. So how controlling could he have been?
Well, it's just a ton of women coming out saying the same thing.
Yeah, okay, and you're gonna get a lot of that, I'm sure.
This podcast is turning into The View right now.
There's a dogpiling. You guys gotta admit, there's a dogpiling event that happens whenever something comes out that's unscrupulous that someone does. Everyone comes out and says whoever
$5 word.
Yeah,
bro.
so everyone who's comes out had any type of relationship with them is gonna come out and dogpile on it and be like, well, he once said I look fat in these jeans, and you know what I mean? There's that type of shit that's going on which pisses me off. It's whatever's assault is assault, and what's not is not.
Well, what's really interesting about this is whatever website that leaked it, I forget which one it was. They were obviously working on the story for a while because it was Infowars. No, but they were working on the story for a while. They'd reached out and they'd gotten a ton of women. Are you familiar with Phoebe Bridgers?
No.
I've heard the name.
So she's in a band now with Connor Oberst. Their new album, Better Oblivion Community Center, I believe it's called, is about to drop in the next couple weeks or so. Either this week or next week, and. Anyways, I believe she's about 22, and apparently she had gotten with Ryan Adams just after a breakup when she was 20, and then also like apparently like he tried to book her on some shows, and then one time like he called her to his room to give her something. She shows up at his room and he's naked at his hotel room.
So like, okay, you're scummy. You turn around, and you leave.
Yeah, I mean that just reminds me of like the movie Arthur. You know what I mean? It's like something like he would do or something. It's
It's just. Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's basically like to me in that situation. I feel like for her, she probably just like laughed like you're ridiculous.
Yeah, she was like, ew,
and walked away.
And walked away.
Exactly.
That's gross. Don't ever do that again. You're a fucking pig.
If anything, I imagine it was probably more embarrassing for him, and he might have learned a little life lesson.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How would you feel if you're like, yeah, man, so confident in yourself that you just like whip out like he's completely naked, waiting for this girl to walk into your room, and then she's just like walks out.
He's like, nah, bro.
Well, but at the same time, before they say that, I got to say, before I say that though, I should also mention that they had boned before. So if you're to do that, if you do that,
there had been some previous boning.
Yeah, so they'd already been familiar, you know.
Familiarized.
So Jesus Christ.
So I mean, when you take that information into account, when you have the whole story. Now, what is creepy about this is a little bit. I mean, I think.
Hold on.
I think this.
Ethan has corrected me. It was actually Weinstein that was jerking off into the ficus plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Harvey Weinstein. Yeah.
Sorry.
Harvey.
Continue.
Really?
Sorry, I had to
Harvey's
clarify.
casting couch.
Yeah. Between two ferns.
Between two ferns.
All right.
Well, we got a title for the podcast.
Okay, so the other thing that's shady about the
Wait, what is it?
Between two ferns.
Okay, so the other thing that's shady about the Phoebe Bridgers situation is that Phoebe Bridgers was only 20 years old at the time.
Okay.
So at the
it's
time,
still
It's legal.
it's legal, but he was 42. So
Yeah.
it's still
it's still weird.
It's a little slime ball.
Yeah, but you already had a previous sexual relationship with this person.
I agree.
So there had to been some level of comfort where he felt that I could get naked in front of her. It's no big deal.
But it's a level of comfort with a 20-year-old, though.
No, but
issue.
we're just saying like it's a little awkward, like a 42-year-old with a 20-year-old.
If you just sit there and tell me a 42-year-old got naked in front of a 20-year-old, okay, that's awkward, that's weird and gross. But when you give it the context and the layer on the situation, this sounds like it's like an ex-lover trying to like bang. Just trying to bang again one more time. That's what it sounds like, and he failed, and he should be embarrassed. And like you heard, from the beginning of this conversation, I thought like he's to blame for this whole thing, an underage girl. Like I was not defending him in the beginning of this conversation. I'm defending him in this other stuff because I feel like it's very trivial. It's very trivial. Yeah, he was mean to me. Okay, leave. Get away from him. Like, he's not physically beating you. He's not, like, threatening to kill your family if you leave him. Something crazy like that. He's just being a controlling dickhead boyfriend.
And then to me, the funniest thing about this...
Just a bro dog.
Well, to me, the funniest thing about this, and when I say this, I mean, like, the conversation is... Like, I've actually seen this conversation talked about, and people were saying... Like #, believe the survivors. And it's like, who survived what? Like, showing up to his hotel room and he was naked. Just like, survivors.
Survive that dude.
Get out of here. Dude, I was Metooed at an airport, okay? I'm a survivor of the TSA, okay?
Yeah, like...
I was 14. I was 14, all right, man?
Yeah, like to what level? What level is this, Matt? Like, is his career pretty much done, or is this just noise, or is it just like how?
No,
what level is it? Because like Ethan brings up a good point. Like, I mean, if this is the biggest, Me Too story worth reporting on, it demonstrates that all this toxic masculinity isn't really a big problem in today's society. It's just fucking I don't know, just empty media coverage. Like how bad? Like,
somebody tweeted something like, "Oh shit! If Ryan Adams gets it for this, all of rock and roll is about to go down."
Oh, dude,
yeah.
When you
think about it,
saying, like,
when you think about it,
for the women too.
Like, Ryan Adams is just being a cliche, any musician from behind the music.
I mean, what the fuck's gonna happen? I mean, it's just things are just going.
What's gonna happen to Lars Ulrich, bro?
Like the media makes money off the shit. It's just they're gonna find any kind of insignificant shit, nothing's better going on. They're gonna publicize it.
What's gonna happen to Nickelback, man?
There's nothing else really going on.
Yeah, why does it never happen to like shitty bands too? It's always like what the fuck? I mean, again, I don't listen to him. I don't celebrate his entire collection like Matt does. But I don't know anything about this. But I mean, it always seems to like happen to like bands that are really good, or bands that are like, fuck, like why the fuck? Why did this happen?
We happen to Brand New.
Nickelback, But
I mean, shit. We were talking this before, but
I think Brand New was actually like pretty fucked up. I think he was like fucking underage chick or something.
Wait, what?
The guy from Brand New.
I did
What's
not
his
hear
name?
about that.
I did not
no.
hear about this. What?
Yeah, he got in trouble like.
She was like 16 or some shit.
Jared,
yeah.
Jared, let's think libel too. If you don't have all the docs.
No, I have the dude. It was news.
What? How did I not hear about this?
You didn't? It was the what's the guy's name? The lead singer.
Jared, where did you
know.
read
Oh,
about
fuck,
this?
it's a-
Highlights for kids.
Yeah, he was like doing something with like a 16-year-old, which is legal in some states, but still, you know.
I think only if you're like under 21 though. If it's like
Right.
it's usually like some sort of separation there.
Right.
Yeah, dude, you ain't lying, man.
Dude, I ain't
If I was
lying.
in any celebrity
Jussie
status,
Lacey?
Yeah, Jussie Lacey.
if I had any celebrity status, any woman signing, I'd have multiple consent docs, printed,
Love contract.
legalese, contracts, and you like add a couple
maybe get an
comments back.
e-signature on there.
He basically was just like, dude, just hire like some dime hooker. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like
just
that.
what are you
Dude,
doing?
the problem is
Don't fuck around like sending dick pics.
Well,
to
that's
some,
what.
like,
Hold on, but that's what
18-year-old.
happened. Hold on,
Stop all that.
But that's what happened to
True, and she should be outed by the industry. She should be shunned.
Wait,
Who?
who? What are you talking about?
Oh, which one?
I was going to talk about. I was talking about what's his name?
Wilson?
Cody Wilson.
Cody Wilson.
Cody
I was thinking
Wilson.
about
Yeah.
He got fucked.
He got
What a narc.
He did exactly what you said, and he got fucked up.
The government
Yeah.
set him up on that
They
shit.
said he got set up.
God,
yeah, he
that
was
was
set
some
up.
like CIA. That was like some, you got to do. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You got to do.
You just got to stay
You
celibate.
got to do your due diligence.
Hey,
That
man.
guy got
just
Jim
fuck old
Bell.
chicks.
Yeah.
Hey man, don't shit on celibacy, man. If you were celibate in this time, fuck, none of this would happen. None of this shit would happen. So that's why everyone was like, "Oh, we can't say that." You know, look at the shit now. And someone told Ryan Adams, "Hey, don't fucking put your dick in anything that walks or whatever."
Yeah.
Jill,
Except for your wife.
Yeah, man, your wife
Or
would still be
husband.
happy right now. Shouldn't be bummed out.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
whatever. I know I'm crazy. I'm a crazy guy.
No. But I mean, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like some of these celebrities, like the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Like what are you doing? What are you doing? You
but
don't
it's-
send dick pics. Like
but
what the
you-
fuck are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You're 40 fucking years old and you're sending dick pics to like an 18-year-old. What do you think?
Like
What
go
the fuck?
go to Reno.
I
Go
think
to
she was
Reno.
like, I think she was like 14 or 16 or
Jesus,
something
it's
like
so
that.
gross.
Yeah, but even
Go
still,
to
like,
fucking
what
Reno,
are you
man.
Doing that for? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Book a flight.
I don't know. Like, I'm not celebrity status, but if you're like 44 years old, like I have, like, you're like, I just look at like, I don't know.
And I believe he was married to Mandy Moore at the time.
Yeah,
I
so
believe-
like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
she's
kinda
like one of the hottest chicks out there. What the fuck?
I
Yeah,
mean, not even-
he's a d-bag.
He's not
yeah.
that good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's just a
yeah.
scumbag.
So,
Okay, he's
but-
guilty of being a scumbag and also fucking hitting on underage chicks, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
and
like, the fuck are
Yeah,
you doing?
yeah, okay,
That's a
he's stupid.
scumbag.
And he should totally have to own that crap. Everything else in that dog pile is bullshit, if you ask me. But that whole thing, yeah, fuck him. He shouldn't have done that shit, and that's pretty creepy and gross.
Okay, but being controlling is not creepy.
It's creepy.
I think it's creepy
Of course,
as
it's
shit.
creepy.
It's all creepy.
But see, you're,
not
you're saying
illegal,
they're
though.
controlling. He just sounds like a douchey boyfriend who's so jealous, like the typical jealous.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I
To
mean-
be fair, though, I
Okay,
mean that's what
okay.
kind of leads to like worse shit, though. Sometimes.
Yeah, but what's wrong with
true.
ostracizing somebody for that?
Nope,
I mean,
nothing
should-
ostracizing. I'm
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not. I'm just don't conflate the two. Him sending a dick
hold
pic to
on.
a 14-year-old is nothing to do with him being a controlling boyfriend or controlling, quote unquote.
well, no, I mean, well,
These are separate issues.
Yeah, they're separate
exactly.
issues.
well, I mean,
But
it is
could be
linked.
So
close.
because-
there's two separate creepies.
Hold
Well,
on,
I
we're
mean-
talking over each other.
well, you got to understand, it's linked because it all came out at the same time. It was released in the same article. It's just like a big like attack that was planned on Ryan Adams.
Yes, so I'm saying that the two things don't add up. Stay on point. Stop with this dog pile. Stick to the fact that he sent his dick pic, whatever, to a 14-year-old.
Dude,
That's
dick pics
creepy and gross, and fuck off.
Dick
like,
pics always get you in trouble.
Yep, they do.
Everybody,
They do.
Dick pics are the downfall of
Yeah,
Western
well, okay.
society.
How many,
Okay,
like, how
okay,
many-
okay,
how many
but-
dick
but-
pic downfalls have there been in the past like 10, 15 years?
Oh, that's a new.
ask
like,
me. Yeah, dick
downfall.
pic.
I wonder what is just the actual dick pic success rate? I mean,
It
is it really worth it?
Right.
Dude, chicks are over that, man. It's 2019.
Yeah,
you gotta
come on, like,
send
dick-
like
like, what are
some
you
What's your
doing?
expected
crazy
value
type of
for
shit.
sending a dick pic?
Especially
We
random.
gotta go back to Goatsy, bro.
Especially
Oh, that's
random
true.
unsolicited dick pics. How
Yeah.
that doesn't work?
Yeah, man.
But it must be working, right?
No,
It must be working for somebody.
Somebody. If I can tell you, I am
just
not
a
that
bad
somebody.
yeah.
They just
Oh man.
yeah. But how many guys have been taken down by the
Yeah,
dick
who's ever
pics?
been like, here's my dick?
who
And
was
she's
it?
like, oh my God, come over and put it in me.
Who was the dude? The politician.
He was
Anthony
Aaron
Weiner.
Anthony
Congress-
Weiner.
Wiener. That's so ironic. His name is because his wife was Hillary's chief of staff.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh my God, like like
Wasn't he into underage chicks too or something?
Oh, yeah. He was sending dick pics.
Good old Carlos Danger. Yeah.
Carlos Danger.
Carlos Danger, that's right. Oh, dude, what a scumbag! What a piece of shit.
I'm so glad because I remember like Jon Stewart and all those guys were having him on like right before that big controversy. He was really getting groomed to be like the next big politician.
Oh, he was.
He was definitely gonna be running for president. That guy would probably he's probably like Beto O'Rourke 1.0, and now he's nobody.
Yeah.
Well,
the dick pic.
That's what you get for hitting on.
So you know what? If the dick pic takes down Democrats too, I'm cool with it.
Take down the whole system, man.
Take 'em all
That's how we're gonna take down this, destroy the system, man. Dick pics.
Yeah. Just an army of dick pics. Knocking at the
Just
gates.
dox people with dick pics, hack them and send a dick pic on their behalf. Yeah, it's probably gonna happen.
That's what the government does, man. When they want to shut you
All
down,
right.
they put child
porn in. Yeah,
All right,
shit,
speaking of dick pics,
I can't do this. I can do this podcast anymore.
what?
Speaking of dick pics, if you join our Patreon for a minimum of $1 per month,
Yeah,
it's Jared sends out dick pics.
Once a day.
Of me.
No, but seriously, we record an after-hours program after this one, and if you throw in a minimum of $1 per month, you will receive access to that after-hours program.
Fuck yeah.
We usually throw it up for download on our Patreon at about 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you could help us keep the lights on here in Anarchy Basement, that is much
Keep it bright.
appreciated.
Dude, we got a shining endorsement from Tim Finnegan. I think that's his name.
Tim Finnegan.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's
Definitely.
he sent us a message saying how it's like all a bunch of extra LOLs that he enjoys from the after hours. So if you guys
Awesome.
want to laugh and for like $1 and see my dick, it's totally worth it.
No, I
do
mean,
those coincide? The last come from seeing your dick, or like?
so yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah,
we just met today.
That's fine.
I want to thank everybody who's been helping us out with the Patreon. Since we got zucked on Facebook, it's made things tougher. And this is definitely helping us out. And we've got projects in the work for you guys. We also got a new podcast website, right? PRL
yeah, dude.
Podcast.
It's a great website.
Podcast.com.
Yeah.
Jared
So-
put it together. It's fucking awesome.
Thanks,
it's
man.
clean. It's easy. Just go to it and you can listen to like any episode, right?
Yep. Any episode.
It's awesome.
You can
Also,
But
guys, if you guys are strapped and you can't help us out with the Patreon, but you still want to help out, there's one thing you can do. You could
send
go.
us a dick pic.
Yeah,
Dick pics.
Just kidding.
Dick pics.
please. Okay. So you could review us on like any podcast app that we are on.
Yeah.
Like, give us a good review, and you'd be helping us out.
Yeah, that shit goes a
tremendously.
long way.
Gives us a boost.
Yeah. So if you could do that, that would be fucking amazing.
But what you were saying there before about being zucked, this goes to number 3. And for me, this is kind of personal. This kind of went way under the radar I wanted to talk about, which was the this week. You probably haven't heard this, but the Senate Intelligence Committee found there was no collusion or connection to Russian collusion in the 2016 election, Donald Trump. Now, it's not the Mueller investigation, but you would think that this has to tell you that because it's a bipartisan committee, but the Democrats agreed on this committee that there's no collusion, which was the grounds essentially of why punk rock libertarians got zucked in the first place, because of fake news and stuff. Just they were trying to take down everything because under the precipice of, Russians could be behind this shit, so we're taking down anyone that's alternative news media.
Yeah.
And so I find it kind of personally offensive that here it is. Matt, has Facebook sent a message to you saying about your appeal, about why your page was zucked in the first place?
No, yeah, like I filed an appeal. I believe that was back in October, and they still haven't even mentioned. They haven't answered. They have not replied. So it's a 190,000 person page.
Yep. Which could have been more, right? You said before they started the shadow ban when the new algorithms in Facebook.
Well,
Which
yeah,
has also been around since 2010 too.
Yeah.
It's not like you
Yeah.
just popped up and like did a bunch of like shady shit.
yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, there was years of work went into that site, and it was I worked at it diligently. Like if I was going to go somewhere for the weekend, I would have to bring my laptop. And I would have to like always like update the page. I couldn't like leave it alone. I felt like it was my responsibility.
It's your baby, man.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty fucked up that they deleted it.
And it was all based upon this bullshit deep
Russian
state
collusion.
attack on Donald Trump. And as much as I hate Donald Trump, this is the last thing I'd say about him. He's a fucking Russian agent. And there's actually an interview tonight. I think it's going on right now. I don't know. I think I forget where it's on, ABC News, NBC, whatever.
60 minutes.
60 minutes?
Usually
so you know,
Sundays.
so
69 minutes.
McCabe, is it McCabe? Okay, so McCabe, he's the guy who took over after what's his face got fired, when Donald Trump fired him after, oh shit, wow, what was his name? He was the former head of the FBI. What was his name?
Comey?
Comey, yes. When Comey got fired after he tried to blackmail Donald Trump with the dossier, the fake dossier stuff.
Yeah, whatever happened with that shit?
Well, they found it was fake. They found it was fake and baseless, and they admit to that. And
Hey, Nick, don't you have like a Comey is my homie T-shirt?
Yeah.
I do, but it refers to a different Comey.
But so he's giving an interview
There's a
right
lot of
now
them.
where, I mean, for the past several years when they were like, everyone talks about the deep state, and the deep state colluded to get Donald Trump out of office, and they kind of, anyone who said anything close to that was ruled some type of crazy conspiracy theorist. But in the preview for the interview that I heard, straight up, he talked about this guy. He took over for Comey after he was fired, and they said that they talked about and discussed about enacting the 25th Amendment, which is pretty much saying, like, if you have the majority of the cabinet and the vice president, they can say you're not deemed fit to be president. And it started, I think it was Woodrow Wilson when he had that stroke when he was as president. They kind of put this in afterwards because they didn't know what to do because he was
But
kind
it was
of
after he signed the Federal Reserve Act. He
this
did
was
his job.
This was after this,
He did what he was supposed to do.
yeah, man, dude. The deep
But
state
then
dead,
they
man.
realized, they were like,
The Rothschilds, they gave him a stroke.
The
man.
Roths, yeah.
They put an air bubble in his vein,
they did.
and they gave him a stroke after they got the League of Nations
He
started.
did what he had to do.
I gotta find the docs on that, but I'm pretty sure they're
Yeah.
out there.
He was down there at Jekyll Island with
Yep.
all the banksters. He did his fucking job. And then
But yeah, so he said that they talked about this. So in order to talk about the 25th Amendment, you have to say that he's not medically fit. Like, there's something wrong with it. Like, there's something medically wrong with him where he can't fulfill his duty as president. So what the fuck does it have to do with anything, like, with Russian collusion? Because he said that in the preview I heard, he said he was afraid. Like, he was like, I couldn't believe I'm talking to someone who could be colluding with Russia or whatever, something along those lines. And how does that have anything to do with what you would use the 25th Amendment for? So he openly admits to using this against the president, colluding with the deep state. You know what I mean? Like, that. This is what's so fucked up. And I think this is why punk rock libertarians got taken down. Free Thought Project. It was under this whole
police.
Yep. It was under this whole just bullshit veil of we need to protect
Cop
against
block,
fake news. And the fake news.
Anti-media. Carrie Wild, what's her?
Carrie Wilder?
Wilder.
Yeah, it's hers. She still hasn't got an answer.
Nope.
So many other pages still
Nope.
unpublished. How many other? There was
like
a few others.
Yeah, there was like a few hundred, I think.
I believe the Free Thought Project 2 was, or was it 2.0 or something?
Yeah, 2.0 got taken down
I believe
too.
that was taken down, and now they're on the Free Thought Project 3.
How many Liberty memes pages are there now?
There's like 17.
I think there's like
We cannot
69
confirm or deny.
420. Yeah.
Well, do you guys
Liberty memes. That's my favorite.
do you guys know like Ford Fisher and like News to Share? That guy?
Yeah, I know.
No.
Mhm.
Was
Yeah,
he
so-
zucked too?
He was zucked, and it's funny because this guy, like, I don't know him that well, but I've seen a fair amount of his material. He seems like to go out where no one else is going and take a very, very sort of like objective, just like, hey, here's a camera, here's what's going on, no commentary. And a lot of like documentaries and TV shows like, will buy his footage. Like, he has his like shit everywhere. But I guess like he was zucked, and I feel like that's like really weird. Like, this guy's like an objective sort of camera, and that's it.
You know, speaking of all the zucking,
Got
you know,
too close to the truth.
the first person that got zucked was Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And then I believe
yeah.
weren't was it last week that we were talking about the Alex Jones Joe Rogan fallout?
Yeah.
So
I think it was.
Wait,
Oh,
did
yeah,
we
what-
talk about that last week? I don't think we did.
What
or
happened
maybe
with
we
that?
talked
Maybe
about
it was
it.
after
Maybe we
hours.
talked
having
about
a
it.
feud.
Maybe we talked about it in the after hours.
Oh, could have been.
Now, I just stumbled across a video earlier on YouTube, and it was from like a week or two ago, and then Joe Rogan was talking about the whole Alex Jones thing,
Yeah.
and it sounds pretty sad. It sounds like and Rogan played some recent clips of Alex Jones, where he's like, yeah, Alex Jones like doesn't seem to be doing that well, and it's like, yeah. I mean, I can just imagine, like all the stuff that Alex Jones has worked on, as far as between like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you know, like imagine having all that, because we got PRL deleted, but I mean, it's like, Alex Jones is working on a lot of shit for a long time.
It's also not our life. It's not our life.
I mean,
like,
he got
it
was simultaneous.
Exactly.
Everyone like deplatformed him at the same time. Like it was a coordinated attack on him.
Yeah.
But he knew what he was doing. He paved that road. He paved his way to success with like a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, but so what?
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
No.
Yeah, I mean the whole Sandy Hook thing. Like,
come on.
Oof.
Like,
dude, Alex. Okay.
Point.
Well,
I wouldn't go full on board, but there's some fishy shit.
Yeah, there is some fishy shit.
One thing he was surprisingly
Speaking
correct
to the mic,
about.
dude.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I wouldn't discredit everything, but he goes where people don't go.
One thing he's surprisingly correct about, the chemicals in the water turn the frogs gay. That researcher works at where I go to school. He's like a really good researcher.
Yeah,
that shit's true. Like the chemicals are going in the water did change the genetics of those frogs.
And fish. I
thought it made them like trans or something.
It did. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, was the government putting it in the water to make them gay for a reason? I don't think so.
But
that's what they want you to think.
Sprinkle.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, but hold on. Is this whole feud? Is it really just like it's not really a feud, right? It's just Alex Jones being crazy.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's like, dude, this is sad. Because like that whole. Did you see that whole video?
Yes.
Whole video?
Yes. It's hilarious.
Which I mean, it seems it's definitely entertaining for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But what? So like, is in this video? I didn't see this video you're talking about, Matt. But does it sound like Joe is like kind of just like concerned for Alex and his health, mental health?
Yeah, like exactly. It sounds like he's concerned, and then it sounds he's just laughing because Alex Jones is saying all this stuff like, well,
you have to destroy Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's family was threatened, and Joe Rogan works for the CIA, and they threatened his family if he doesn't discredit me or have me or not if he can't allow me on the podcast or whatever. You know what I mean? So, Alex Jones just kind of seems like he's going off the deep end. At least
that's further.
Yeah,
I was like he was already in the 12-foot section. Where's he going now, dude?
Right. So,
the fucking quarry.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty sad. It's pretty sad to hear about,
Yeah.
But I think it was pretty funny because my brother called me and he was like, he listens to Joe Rogan, but he doesn't know anything about Alex Jones.
But see,
how's that even possible?
I know he knows the bare minimum, like just whatever. And so he just called me and was like, "Oh my God, I heard Joe Rogan talking about this," and he's like, "And I know you would know something about Alex Jones." And he's like, "I saw you made the post because I posted the video of Alex Jones' response to the." The whole thing where he calls him like a demon or whatever, or something like that. Yeah. And he's like, he's going to destroy Joe Rogan. And so he saw it and he was laughing. He's like, "Oh my God, is Alex Jones always like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, mostly." Like, I don't watch Alex Jones and I don't listen to Joe Rogan either. But I thought it was pretty fucking hilarious that he called me and just like, "I knew you'd know something about this."
Yeah, well, I don't know. So,
and part of it was this whole so Joe Rogan did an interview with Jack Dorsey of Twitter.
Yeah.
And he called a lot of shit because he
wasn't hard enough.
He wasn't really hard on
Jack
him.
Dorsey, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is definitely true, and he conceded that after the fact. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't really do a good job on this." But of course, people came out and were like, "Oh, he's a fucking shill," like, "Oh, he's a government agent and shit." It's like,
one thing Rogan was pointing out that Jack Dorsey probably didn't have anything to do with banning Alex Jones. Like,
and also, what do you expect the guy to say?
It's like not his department.
Like, what do you expect the guy to say? Like, I mean, because like he had been on a bunch of other different other podcasts in that week. He was doing a podcast tour or whatever, and he was on like Sam Harris's podcast, and Sam Harris was like trying to push him on the issue. And he was just very, very good at dancing around it. Like, he would just say, like, "Yeah, you're right. We have to work on, like, who we're deciding to censor. Like, you're right. Like, we have to work on that." Which isn't, like, an answer. It's just, like, it's just, like, a slimy way of sort of, like, getting around it.
Well,
and there's nothing you can do with a guy like that.
Also, too, for everybody that's saying, well, Alex Jones deserved it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, at first, everybody censored Alex Jones. But then they went after our page and 550 other pages.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a slippery slope.
And it also affected just because we were tied to said pages. Because all of us had our personal pages removed.
Yep.
Yeah.
and depublished. So imagine
Yeah.
if I was running a fucking business off of my personal page. So it has a trickle down effect. Like it affects not only just those pages, but it affects the individuals involved with those pages because they. The only reason I found out about it because I was like, "What the fuck's going on with my Facebook?"
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, I'm like, "The fuck's going on?"
I think I was.
And then I talked to you, Matt. We're like, "Yo,"
because I was the first. I don't know if I was
I
the
called
first
Matt,
one.
like as soon as my page was like, yeah, I had to like take a picture of my face and like send it in.
Yeah. I mean, I was working at.
So I took a picture of my dick and sent it in.
That would have been funny. But I remember like I was on my face and my Facebook wasn't updating. Sometimes like it does that when it crashes or whatever. And I just remember just like, why is this not updating? And then finally it kicked on saying that I remember sending a message to you, Matt, or something like that. Like, yeah, my Facebook's not working. Like, what's going on? And you were like, apparently it's happened to everybody. And because I remember having to go, I thought maybe someone broke into my account and they needed me to reactivate it by sending a picture of my face. I didn't know what was going on, but I remember calling you and you were like, yeah, it's happening to all of us. And I'm like, this is like, not to be hyperbolic, like it was kind of creepy. It was really scary.
Creepy,
Yeah.
Like, wow, like what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. I was an editor of the Daily Liberator. I wasn't even on the Punk Rock Libertarians at the time. I was just Daily Liberator. So I thought it was weird. And bless you. And I just, it was kind of creepy. And like thinking like all my pictures and all of my kids and my family and going back, it just like that could be gone. I didn't know I was going to get my page back. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was permanent, temporary. It is really creepy. And for what? Like all because they said they made up a story saying Donald Trump was colluded with the Russians.
We got to crack down on all this fake news.
Just to hide the fact
bots
just to hide the fact that they had to kill that DNC staffer who leaked those emails to WikiLeaks. They straight up fucking killed him, and you'll never convince me otherwise.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I don't need to dox. You can go find it for yourself.
And it's so funny, like the whole Russian collusion, and meanwhile, we're like overthrowing. We're involved in Venezuela
right now. Yeah. We just said we're not recognizing this guy in Venezuela. We're going to recognize this guy who his party hasn't even run in several elections. Yeah. We're going to recognize him as president.
Or like Jared,
not
you. This might trigger you, but I saw this great meme today. And it was just like an AIPAC. Was it like? Convention and it was just like American flags and then like the flag of Israel and they're like, holy shit, look at all this Russian collusion in our political system.
Yeah.
And it's like fuck.
Oh man, there is that whole story about, I mean, we're kind of running out of time, maybe save it for after hours, but
no, let's go on just a little bit. I want to talk about it too. You go for it.
The chick
it's like Aman or what's her name?
She's like a Somalian. She's like from
Somalian
origin.
She's a congressman from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she got in trouble for saying basically that AIPAC was sort of bribing and lobbying politicians.
No
Not
shit.
Just that, right?
What's that?
It was like a Jewish angle too, right?
That's what they're trying to accuse her of because she said something.
They're trying to accuse her
she said
of
it's
being
all about the
anti-Semitic.
Benjamins.
Yeah.
But I mean, even as a Jewish person myself, like I read it, I was like, no, she's just trying to say like
Ilhan Omar.
Like this is a lobbying organization. Yeah. They just like any other lobbying organization, they are the ones keeping the United States intervening in Israel. They're one of the heaviest lobbies. I mean, pretty much every president has to like kowtow to them.
She got crushed for it too.
But yeah, she got crushed.
They're trying to say like Ben Shapiro saying, "Oh, she's an anti-Semite," and he's going about that bullshit. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but she had a chance to grill Elliot Abrams. And I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's like, this dude is like the epitome of the deep state, and he's a fucking demon. Like this dude is.
Who is it?
Elliot Abrams. He has behind every single horror story,
transdimensional space being
pretty much, dude. I wasn't surprised. Like he's a fucking demon. This dude, he is the worst scum of this planet. Of everything bad you think about government, this is who this guy is, and he's the one who orchestrated all the things that you think about from the 1970s and 80s that happened in South America. All the slangs and like from the Iran-Contra deal, everything. He was behind every single one of those things. And he worked for Reagan. He worked for Bush. He worked for Bush Jr. And now he's working on for Venezuela under Trump. This dude is a scumbag, and she went to town on it. Like, and people were trying to make it seem like he got the best of her. And oh man, can you believe it? She has the nerve to drill him about some of these things, the war crimes he's partaken in.
So he's like worse than Bolton.
Yeah,
worse than Henry Kissinger.
He's on that level, if not
like
worse.
He was probably doing it with
working with
Kissinger.
him.
Right?
Yeah. So, dude, this guy is, I mean, just look him up, Elliot Abrams, and there's an awesome video, I shared it, where she is the,
Abrams, he sounds like a Jew.
Wow. That might be anti-Semitic. I don't know.
Well, he sounds like a Jew. And he doesn't like the Muslim people.
In Venezuela?
He wants to, any brown people, he wants to kill them all.
Okay, so we have T-shirts over at libertariancountry.com. If you type in the code PRL or the code PRL podcast, you will receive a 10% discount. Until next time, live free
Or die.
Yeah, but look up this dude, Elliot Abrams.
So wait, what's
Hold on a second.
like